Good day to you all, and welcome to our Lenten reflections for the fourth Sunday of Lent, sponsored by the Christian Life Center in Frenchville. My oldest sister left home 2 weeks after her high school graduation to enter the convent. 1 year later, I left home at the age of 13 to enter into a minor seminary in Western State, New York. Whenever the two of us would come home on vacation, my sister came home much less frequently than I did. But whenever we would come home, my mother would go out of her way to make our favorite dishes. My father would go out of his way to make plans for special occasions or journeys or trips. I remember my younger brothers and sisters, how angry they would get at us because they felt as though Mom was spoiling us and never spoiled them. And reflecting upon that, I can understand why they felt that way. But I think Jesus gives us an interesting option for the fourth Sunday of Lent. On this fourth Sunday of Lent, St. Luke gives us that wonderful and familiar story, the prodigal son. I suspect most of us remember that story quite well. It's actually a parable, and the parable is a response to an accusation made by the Pharisees and the scribes. They think it's deplorable that the people that Jesus is attracting are sinners and traitors. The scribes and the Pharisees are the educated ones. They know how to read, they know how to write, they are in a privileged class. They are probably far more wealthy than the people that Jesus is speaking to. They are deplored. They are absolutely besides themselves that Jesus would be spending his time with these traitors and sinners. So Jesus, interestingly enough, gives us two examples. The prodigal son, who picks up his bags and collects his father's wealth and heads out on his own. And the other son, who stays home, who's faithful, and who's always there for his father. There's a clash. The older brother is jealous and resentful when his younger brother returns to beg pardon and forgiveness from his father. There, in the little parable, Jesus addresses the very issue that the scribes and the Pharisees are presenting. Why does Jesus hang around traitors and sinners? It strikes me that perhaps the title of the parable shouldn't be about the prodigal son. The title should be about the loving and faithful father. There lies, I think, for us, the example that Jesus is attempting to give. It's about the loving Father. A Father who loves, forgives. A Father who loves, supports. So the Father in this parable reflects God, reflects Jesus. And we are reminded that whether sinner or scribe or Pharisee, God is interested in caring for his people. And so in this Lenten season, I think that we are reminded in the parable that we really need to recognize the importance of seeking forgiveness with our God and with one another. And we also need to seek the realization of God's constant love for us. So whether we are sinners and traitors or whether we are Pharisees and scribes, Jesus says that the Father will love, and therefore we must love in a similar example. In an age where criticism, in an age where rejection, in an age for revenge, I think it's vitally important that we recognize the loving Father in the parable of the prodigal son for our fourth Sunday of Lent. God's blessings during your Lenten journey.